What's up, everybody? It's 3 into Possible here. Missing Joe. Got a little extra workload this week at the radio gig, so just the two of us. 2 into Possible this week, Devion. Been a
Yeah,
minute since we've been on. We're gonna call it a little mini episode. How's
all
good over
right,
there?
cool. Yeah, because it was like choppy at first on my end, so I was like, thought it was a delay.
You didn't like my music? Is that what you're saying?
Man,
You didn't like the
fuck
music?
that, the elevator music.
Uh, Restream calls it chill hop. All right, so that's what we had
Uh,
going on there. But all right, Devion, so let's get into it, bro. It's been a minute. Not a lot's happened. We're kind of in the dead period for the NBA. Most of the big free agent moves have been made. We're waiting on the big trades if they are ever going to happen. So let's start right there. We do have some breaking news out of Brooklyn. Kevin Durant reiterates his trade request to Joe Tsai. He went all the way up to the owner and told him, "Yeah, look, bro, it's either me or Sean Marks and Steve Nash." So he's making it pretty clear. He's giving him kind of an ultimatum. Just as we were getting on here, Joe Tsai released a statement or talked to somebody basically saying he is backing the Nets staff and will do what's best for the team in dealing with this ultimatum from KD. So Devion, you can take this whatever way you want to take it, but
yeah,
this news breaks today. What's your initial reaction to it?
same shit we've been talking about. Um, Pretty much now it just seems like they kind of killing, or KD's kind of killing the Nets leverage a lot more because I don't know if it was on one of them shows. Something that's like no team really wants to help the Nets trade KD
Mm-hmm.
or get a part of that trade. So now you're sort of like, oh, you got front office issues, you got player issues. Nobody knows if to blame Steve Nash, blame Kyrie, might still blame James Harden. He ain't even there. So you got all these issues going on, and KD's just like, I think he's saying that it's either them or me. What he's really saying is, man, you might as well go ahead and get rid of me because you ain't gonna get rid of your staff, So, and I don't think the Nets. If I'm the Nets, I'm not getting rid of my staff because Steve Nash. I think you can put some pieces around him. They'll eventually figure it out. Like what I'm saying, it's still a new position. Ain't like he got 15 years in the game, shit. So I think he can piece that together. But KD is just I ain't gonna say he's being messy because it is his career, and I feel like they could push a little bit more, and they doing some ask for some bogus requests for these trades. So
Man.
it's just getting messier, and KD's for sure not gonna be there. If he is, he might sit out a few games and just kind of force it. So I same messy shit, nothing different, just waiting on him to actually leave.
Yeah,
For
man, this
real.
is tough because I don't know that it necessarily eliminates their leverage because he had already said he wants out, and I think
Yeah,
KD's tired of waiting. I think that's what it is. I think
I
you
don't blame
know
him.
I think he's tired of waiting, and I think we had talked about last time. I'd thrown out there that I think the Nets may be trying to slow play this and be like, yeah, we're just not getting the offer. Really hoping that Durant would just be like, kind of be trying, trying to get him to be understanding and just give the first start of the season a little bit of a test, and like get him playing with Kyrie and Ben and that kind of get him re-energized with the team, get them all come like, oh, you know what? Yeah, fuck yeah, we're great. We're gonna keep going, and maybe it's a big old happy outcome. And I honestly think it's a good strategy. They can get them to just if they can just get them to try this year. I think they'll be successful. But yeah, I think like you said, when he said Marks and Nash or me, I think that's a line he knows that the owner's not going to be willing to cross. Like, because
Yeah,
that kind of sounds like the thing that's kind of been bugging the owner from the beginning of this era in Brooklyn. He's made it clear that he is not happy that KD and Kyrie feel like they can just run everything. And I think he's kind of tired to bending the knee, so to speak, to Kevin Durant all the time. And so I think not just Kevin, but him and Kyrie all the time. Probably more Kyrie, honestly. KD seems fairly low key, but I think this might make some things happen. The reports are saying that the three teams still kind of in it are the Celtics, Raptors, and Heat. If the Celtics are really not doing, we talked about it last, we don't need to rediscuss it. But if Marcus Smart is really what's holding this up, that's just hilarious to me.
But think about now, because I'm kind of mad about that trade too. But the Celtics got some experience and all that stuff like this, a good organization. Maybe I can give them the benefit of doubt with that now, because now they're probably like, ah, let's hold off on this trade. They still might make it, and we still get to keep a player because he wants out. And I guess they might see where the pendulum swings with that, because I kind of would, with negotiation, I kind of play hardball too, all the way to the wire. And then if I could keep a little extra, I will, because it seemed like if they end up making this trade, that might be a good move that they held out in this particular case. Because I know Kyrie saying he can't go to Canada. They making all the players get vaccinated in all them games. So he's out of
Yep.
there. KD, that's why I'm just like, and plus with KD, and I think KD and Kyrie, it's just like you think about it as a man and stuff like that. I just think they don't got no respect for that front office or the owner, because why else would you do that? Try to take all the control if you got respect for them. So like once the respect's gone, that's a hard thing to get back. So I think the Celtics or the Heat might. I don't see Toronto like if I'm KD, I'll probably badmouth Toronto and say I don't want to be here. I'll get that fine. Like for real, because if he goes there, you just went from maybe a possible contender tonight. You're not going, because the pieces you got to give up to go to Toronto, it ain't happening. So I think the Celtics
I'm
might still
sorry.
make
I
that
know
trade.
everyone seems to love Toronto and like, oh, look at all these fun young pieces.
Shit.
Maybe I'm just being biased. There's not a single player on Toronto that
No,
interests me if
no.
I'm giving up Kevin Durant.
Mm.
Like,
They
there's
gotta
no
give me
DeRozan anymore. Like,
the
DeRozan would have at
whole
least
team.
intrigued me. Like Pascal Siakam, very
No.
nice player. I want no parts of Pascal Siakam being my best player. I want no parts of Pascal Siakam right next to Ben Simmons. Like, that sounds like fucking hell to me.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes, really nice young player. I don't see the offensive game there consistently from Scotty Barnes to ever be like a truly elite player. He's an amazing defender. He's a really good rebounder, and I think he is a huge asset to have on your team. But again, I don't want to pair him with Ben Simmons.
Yeah. All
Like if Ben
defense, no
Simmons is who
offense.
if Ben Simmons is going to be like kind of their building block, you need some shot creep and shooters, and like maybe OG Ananobi would be interesting to me. Um, I feel like I'm lower on him than most people are. He reminds me. I'm gonna use a Heat example, and I don't want to disrespect this player because I loved him when he was on the Heat. But he reminds me a lot of Josh Richardson when Richardson was in the role that he was with Miami. He looked like this budding little maybe young star. He would have he'd average like 20 points a game on like 35% from three and all that. It's just like I don't know. Just something about when I watched him, I was like,
Yeah,
I'll trade him in
he
a
gonna
heartbeat.
shine on a trash team, but like a good team. I don't think he'll ever be able to figure out his role. But out of those three, he's the most interesting to me, because Siakam is just a poor man's KD. That's really, to me, he's really inconsistent. Um,
He's a
but
poor man's Giannis. That's what he
oh
is.
yeah, I'll give you that. It's show right, because he just like one game, he like, oh yeah, this why he here, and then the next game or two games, I'm just
I
like,
just
bro, you
remember
need to be
watching that Philly
third
series,
option.
Toronto and Philly this year,
Oh,
and like
uh,
Philly was trying to lose that series at the end. Like they were trying to give games away, and it was either Fred Van Vliet, who love him, but he's 6 feet tall, playing against a bunch of bigger defenders, and then it's just like Pascal Siakam up there. I'm just like,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
he has no move. Like I don't unless he's like just
Their best player is six
unless he
foot
gets
for
a
sure.
big that he's more athletic than or someone smaller than him that he can kind of just go over, like, but him trying to go against like an Embiid or even like a Tobias, I was just no,
Yeah.
not happening
Fred is the best player on that team. He's
easily.
just undersized. It ain't
Yep.
even close. So if he was Siakam, if they switched roles, Siakam will be a a, a little a
Yeah, Fred would
specialist, the
be a nice
defense
piece in
specialist.
that. Fred would be a nice
Yeah,
piece in that trade, but you would. I feel like you would want. I don't know. You'd probably want more than. I don't know. I think
you
you'd
gonna
want more.
take
I saw.
Fred and
So
Kyrie?
Bleacher Report threw out a Heat trade that I'm sure Heat Twitter is having a
Yeah,
terrible reaction to that I would do in a heartbeat. But it was a 3-team trade. It would involve Indy facilitating, but it was Ben Simmons to Indy, KD and Miles Turner to the Heat, and then him, Hero, Duncan, the Jovic, and 3 other first-round picks to Brooklyn.
yeah, I'll
If
do
I
that in a
if
heartbeat.
I was Miami, I'd be like, here you go,
Why wouldn't I
let's
do
go,
that?
ball
Like
game. Well, Heat Twitter will lose their mind if Bam is part of this deal. And I just like if you want to swing big and get a Kevin Durant, you got to give up something.
you can get you can get Bam up and get KD with that and actually get a ring next year with that team. Yeah, Bam is gonna be. I'm not saying y'all can't get a ring with him because I think you can, but it's gonna
Yeah,
be down the line. That's like 3 to 5 years down the line. KD, you can get one right now, and knowing Pat, you might you have a high chance, in my opinion, getting a back to back because he gonna go get something for you. Because he's like, I'm stuck with KD for the next 3 4 years. Like, I want him to end his career here, so he gonna go
right.
get him some pieces. So, man, so if those are like the actual trades, like even in talks, it's something like, and these institutions are not stupid. Like these front offices with these teams that we name with these trades are not dumb. It's a reason they holding off on it. It's they're trying to see how messy it can get to see how bad. So you know what I'm saying. So you can keep some peace. That's
Yeah,
what I'm convinced at this point now. Because why wouldn't you make that trade like now?
yeah. I mean, if you're any
Well,
one of those 3 teams, none of those guys are ever going to be Kevin Durant ever.
it's not even close. Yeah, you can dream all
And
you want, boy.
especially if you're the
Oh,
Heat or Boston, you were that close last year, and you can upgrade your number. You can turn your last year's number 1 to a number 2 and make Kevin Durant your 1. You do it in a heartbeat.
Did,
Imagine the Celtics, Jason Tatum as your second best player.
man,
Jason
boy,
Tatum
he's
just
sick.
showed you that he is good enough to be a number 1 player on a team to go to the finals. Then you say, okay, we're going to add Brogdon. We have to get Marcus Smart and Jalen Brown and some other bullshit that doesn't really matter, and we get Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
Come on,
he liked to play 1 on 1. You gotta guard KD. You can't sag off on him. Now you got 2 1 on 1 players that are 6'8" and can defend and facilitate. So I'm just like, man, bro. The Heat, you got him and Jimmy. Oladipo, you keep him. Do you know how great that would be for Oladipo's career to just get like
man.
flashes of Oladipo with that on that team? Boy,
So I keep saying
that's come on. I'm
I'm
taking
gonna
that.
I am gonna keep saying this. I might be just
Uh,
wrong, and that's okay. I've been wrong before, rarely, but the biggest addition that the Heat have already made, hands down, and they're gonna have to keep him, I believe, because of the way the contract's structured, is Oladipo with the year to actually practice.
keep him.
Like, to me, that's a huge upgrade. Let's move on. Enough about Kevin Durant. We'll probably be able to
Yeah,
talk about him this upcoming weekend. We're back on with Joe. Um,
that's
we
what's
got some
up.
new beef. DeJounte Murray and the number 1 overall pick, Paulo Banchero. Neither one of us know where this beef is truly coming from,
Oh man.
but they were playing in a pro-am together over the weekend. I'm going to read from DeJounte Murray's Instagram story. This is what he was saying about Paulo Banchero. You try to flex that number 1 pick shit on me when I've been rooting for you when you was a kid, asking to rebound for me. Paulo, don't get on this internet saying nothing. You changed from the humble kid you always was, and I stand on boy, you made it and changed, and I lost all respect. Stay humble. This life you in now is real, and ain't no joke. I still want to see you win because that's who I am. I don't know what happened. I don't think you know what happened.
No.
I can't imagine this just happened over a pro-am game. Like, I have a hard time believing that DeJounte Murray was that upset about like maybe a little trash talk in a pro-am. I hope not. I hope not. I hope he's really not that mad. If all that really happened was that Paulo, like, made it like crossed him up or made a play on him in the pro-am and said, "Yeah, that's why I was the number one pick and you weren't, bitch." If you said something like that, like, I really hope that's not all it took to set DeJounte Murray off because I like DeJounte Murray and I don't want to dislike him. But Debbie,
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts on this. And
I'm just
side note, I hope you've been watching DeJounte Murray in these because this dude has been hilarious.
yeah, something's wrong. I like his game first of all, and this is this is like for one, what we watched in this little program is the reason why he's going to be great for the Hawks. That's why it's just like feeding off of just people pissing them off. It's one other player that you love to see when that happens when that's Trey Young, bro. So now you just get one pissed off and the other one go off of that. I like, oh, I like this and I like this type of Murray. I was like, keep getting pissed off, but it's I guess, man, I don't know where this beat came from, bro. It sounds like it's some stuff where he tried to congratulate him or something, and dude just like
I think
didn't
they're both from the
respond or
same
some shit
city.
like that.
I think
Yeah,
that's
you
what
know
it's
what I'm
also.
saying?
I think they're both from like Seattle or something. I want to say. I know that's a real tight
Yeah.
knit hoop culture up there. But
It's got to be something like that. Like, hey, bro, congratulations on this, all this other stuff. It,
yeah, he
it
tried
gets
to like
no
little man him or
response.
something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because he was talking. When I say he was talking crazy, that boy. This a you a little. This the big man's league. You a little boy. I'm over here like, yeah, I like this. And I mean, he was out there, bro. Like, but the Murray is just, like I said, just that's NBA proven right there. It's like now it's like you unlock some that I can't wait to see in the season. It's like, oh, you pissed him
I
off.
can't wait. I can't wait till the Hawks play the
Can't
Magic.
wait.
Never thought I'd say that
Oh yeah,
in the
bro. They
summer.
about to, and then you better hope that number one pick. Like I think, like I said, like I told you before, like yeah, he played all right, but I'm not like super impressed with you dogging. Like you know what I'm saying? It's certain things I'm like, all right, let's see if this translates into the NBA because it's not quite there yet. I think he can do it, but it's like in these first like with him, I think it's the first like realistically the first 2 years. By his second year, we gonna kind of see exactly what type of player he is. I don't think he's gonna be one of the ones that just like, oh, he's all right now. He's gonna keep elevating. Nah, his second year, like we gonna see like what type of players,
By the
and
end
he
of his
probably gonna
second
end
year,
up being
I
a,
think we're gonna see
you know,
if the shot making. And when I say shot making, I'm mostly about like his
nah,
jump shot, like jump shot
yeah,
making ability, off the dribble. Step back. Like, is he able to consistently have that in his game, or is it at least trending? Like, did it go like
yeah.
start here and then get to here with a realistic expectation it could keep going, or did it not see a lot of improvement? That's going to be the make or break thing. I think he's always going to not, oh, but for a long time we'll be able to get to the rim and be impactful that way. I think he'll have that.
Yeah,
Um, here's my
that
thing
bully
with this.
ball in them.
Here's my thing with this. I don't know what they said. I don't know what's gone on in like their personal lives together. I'm just saying from the optics of how this pro am is going, DeJounte Murray is wild as fuck for telling anybody to stumble with what he's been doing to fucking you and me out there. People like you and me out there playing hoop. He's bouncing the ball off their fucking head, and then he's gonna tell
Hmm.
another man, "Be humble." Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like you ain't just do. He didn't just do that shit to fucking Paulo. He's doing that to some regular
Nah,
ass
he
dude that
just
just got
dogging
off
that
his
whole thing.
like what I'm saying? Like he's doing it to regular ass people
Yeah,
that just got off their shift working 9 to 5 or whatever. Like the one dude, he's like sitting over there and then boom, 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 right on his head. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
you
But
have to be crazy.
I like that though, man, because you gotta think about when you feel disrespected, and this now it becomes
By a
war.
regular fucking bro.
Hey, man,
If you're
you
an
got
NBA
hey,
player, first of all, the first one happened before he played Paul Epstein. Let's get that. Let's make that real.
Yeah,
Like
well,
the
true.
one dude with the cornrows. He like.
Yeah, true. But yeah.
I'm just saying you're gonna tell somebody to be humble, and then
Look.
you're out there making a joke out of regular fucking people.
I was gonna
That's
try
all
to
I
help
gotta
out,
say.
but
I
you
I
right.
I think like I'm imagining that like that message is kind of different context, and like I'm not gonna like kill him because I thought the clips were fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I think he
Now
just at this
you guys
point
never
like
if he would
anybody.
have done that to me, I'd have felt some type of way. We probably would have. I don't know. I would have said something right there. I'm not gonna
I would have
pretend like I'm
probably.
some
I ain't
big
gonna lie.
tough
I
guy and
probably
would
would have
have
hit
like
him.
done shit anything to like to some 6'8"
I
motherfucker, but like I would have been upset.
would have hit him. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in there tall, like 6'8" ain't gonna really do nothing. I'm gonna punch you dead in your chin. I'm gonna see how tough you are after that. I know you can hoop, but we're gonna see if you can fight. So, cause I ain't gonna lie, like a regular person, you right about that, bro. A regular Joe Schmo, you doing this? Bro, how many times we go fight and we ain't even NBA players in the just playing with people just for fun, and they get out of line. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stump dude out. You doing this, and I'm trying to showcase my talent. And if you make me look bad, and I'm not playing that well, I'm punching your chin.
Like
I gonna play.
to
We're
me,
gonna
like it's
play
you know what I'm saying,
overseas.
like it'd be
Yeah,
one thing if you cross me up, you get me. All right, you got me. You don't have to be disrespectful though. Don't fucking throw the ball like bounce the ball on my goddamn head before you fucking go past. Like that's
but that
I don't know.
shit
To me, that
was
was
funny enough.
disrespectful. That shit was
But
hilarious though.
he just trying to. I guess he's like, man, I'm about to tear this whole team apart, and I like that part. Just like embarrass everybody. Y'all all in this together. Just
Hey,
embarrass
he
everybody.
got Paulo bad though. He
And
got
that
him with that
was
shot fake and then the fake
put
pass
that behind his
behind
back.
his back. Paulo
Well,
was
that was,
looking, well, huh?
and that's when I'm like, yeah, don't let the trash talking get to you because in the NBA, everybody on that court can do that to you at any given moment. So let's see how you handle it. That's why like little moments like that, people might like, oh, it's one. I'm like, nah, you need to pay attention to stuff like that and see how he reacts. Like, because this is a mental thing now. This ain't no just hooping. This is like
Yeah.
if Murray can break you
For
down
what it's worth,
mentally, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I thought Paulo
yeah,
handled it all very well. I didn't think like Paulo didn't like lose his
no.
cool or
He,
anything.
he
Like
still looked pretty humble. That's why I said it's kind of funny. It looks like
I
he
know that's
still
what it's
is
just like
kind of like
he
humble
doesn't.
though.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Just
And
don't let him
at the
break
end
you.
of the
That's
day,
all
like
I'm
you know
saying.
what,
Murray, don't let
like
Murray break.
Murray, cut him a little slack, bro. He just got drafted #1 overall. He's 19. Like he should be a little excited. He should be happy. He should be feeling himself a little bit, just a
Yeah,
little bit.
I ain't never
But
had that. I'm
once he steps on the court in the
um,
NBA,
yeah,
he better remember who he is and how little he has accomplished in that world.
yeah.
All
On
right, let's move.
everything.
Start, sit, cut time. So, recap. We'll give you our picks first. We'll discuss afterwards. I think it makes for better television or whatever we're doing here. All right. So start, sit, cut. Small forward edition. Start, sit, cut. Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, Devion. I'm intrigued by your answer here. I want to know what you got to say.
And this is how they're currently playing, not
Currently, going into
currently.
next season, 2022, 2023, who you want on your roster?
Butler, PG, Brown.
Just like that. All right. I'm a Jimmy starting. Jaylen is going to be on my bench, and I'm cutting PG. I'm cutting Pandemic P.
Yeah.
All right. It's like this,
I'm
bro.
not mad at
Like
that though. I'm not mad at that.
it's like this. At the end of the day, I think we both would agree Jimmy is the alpha of this group. I don't think
Yeah.
I'm
Not even
sure there'll be
close.
people out there that are going to make an argument for each one of these three. I think they all do a lot of things very well and very good for their teams. Jimmy, to me, like especially after this playoffs, I just got a hard time putting any of these other two over him. Putting up 45 points. You know, a lot of people like to say the bubble was a fluke. I don't know. This
God.
postseason to me kind of proved that completely bullshit. What we Jimmy was exactly what he did this year. So PG, the reason why I'm cutting PG over Jaylen is we talked about it. Like PG needs to be a 1 to be like his best self, but he's not good enough to be a 1. Like Jaylen Brown, I think for what I would want on my team, Jaylen Brown will do all the things that everyone claims PG will do. I don't think PG defends like he used to anymore. Jaylen will lock you up. They both will turn the ball over at inopportune times. And at the end of the day, Jaylen Brown showed up consistently in the playoff, consistently enough, and more consistently, I guess, than Paul George in the playoffs post surgery, in my opinion. So that's kind of why I'm going that way, Devion. What was your reasoning?
And that's why I almost did that too. I'm not gonna lie, because I was kind of like a toss up. That's why I can't get mad at that. Jimmy is not even. I don't really need to speak on that. I really don't. But yeah, you got a good point because I was like, Paul George being the number one, the 1B option. Say that because
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever think it could be 1A. It's just like you can see, you like, okay, you can win some games, but I don't think you would make it past a couple games, especially with him being your number one option. You're right about that. Him being your second option with a good player, I think you can do some damage. I think Jaylen Brown, like, and the reason I think Paul George, I'm not saying he can fit in more systems. He might be able to fit in more systems. Jaylen Brown and to me, Jaylen Brown and Tatum fit so well together. It's just like it's just hard to deny what they do. But I'm looking at it like if Jaylen Brown goes somewhere else, I'm not. I'm not. I know he's gonna ball, but just to have that type of chemistry like that,
Mm.
I don't know. But I think Paul George, at this, especially at this point in his career, I think he can go more places and you can shine. Do I think you can win a championship with him? Nah, you probably do have a. I'll give a slight edge to Jaylen Brown. I think you could probably have a better chance to win a championship with what they will put in front of him and around him, Paul George. But I just think Paul George is like literally a slight better player. So it's
Paul George, I think, has
so
a little bit more complete offensive game in terms of,
yeah,
especially in scoring the ball. Um, I think he's fallen off a bit defensively. I think he's still a really good defender. I'm not
yeah.
trying to act like all three of these guys are elite defenders, in my opinion. Um,
uh,
okay, so let me ask it to you like this: Jason Tatum or Kawhi? Who's better? And I'm talking about Kawhi from the last couple years.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I was thinking I would say Kawhi fast, but it's just like I don't know, cause
All right.
who's
Well,
better
to
versus who
me,
I would
it would have
have.
been
I would
Kawhi.
take
Like
Tatum. Yeah,
to me, the
I
better
think
player is Kawhi. The point I'm making is
yeah,
they've
but I'd
made it
rather
to
have Tatum.
one conference finals.
Yeah, I
Jalen
think
Brown is the
Kawhi is
two.
better.
Jalen Brown is the
Yeah,
two. Went to the finals already and
yeah, and
multiple conference finals. Now
that's why
the
I
West, you
follow
can
what you're
argue the West
saying.
is was a little harder. You can
Yeah,
argue,
but still,
but I don't know.
because Kawhi is
I don't know because
better,
Kawhi got
but it's
there
tricky.
after the Warriors dynasty was over. So let's not
Yeah,
forget that either. Like their
I'd
year
rather
one
have
was the
Tatum
year the
though.
Lakers won.
Yeah,
I would rather have Tatum right now, but I'm saying
yeah,
like you got to think about when
you,
Kawhi coming off his title run in
yeah. I'll
Toronto,
take him in a heartbeat.
signing with the Clippers.
Yeah,
Like I think everyone's taking that Kawhi over Jason Tatum, and they haven't done a whole lot. And so to
no,
me, Jalen Brown, I thought the East was actually really good this year. Um, I
it's
think
way
just as
better.
competitive, if not more competitive, than the West was those first couple years for those two in LA.
I
So
I think
that's
after this
that's like
year, I think it won't be close with like Paul George and like Jalen Brown. I think it's like close now, but next year, since he's gotten a taste
we'll
of
see.
the actual finals, I
Mm,
don't think it'll be close now. I think that's the part that
I mean,
separates.
like I didn't love all the moves the Clippers made. Like, well, not all, but the move of getting John Wall. Like, I don't know that changes my opinion of them totally, but we'll have a chance to see. I mean, they should all be healthy. I do like the Covington and Powell trade that they made midseason last year. We talked about it
That
on the show.
helped
I
John
really
Wall,
like that one, but
not the Clippers. That's why I'm gonna keep staying on it. I think it helped John Wall and reviving his career, not necessarily Clippers. I think the Clippers are finito.
See,
So
a lot of people want them to be like the favorites in the West next year, which I think is crazy. But all right, last one. Start, sit, cut. Big man edition.
oh man, that's
We
crazy.
might have even done this one in the season, but we're gonna revisit now if we have. Start, sit, cut. Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, your perennial MVP candidates. Devion, which way you going here?
Right now, the way you got it written,
All right,
Giannis,
well, we have some
Jokic,
audio only folks here.
Embiid. Yeah, that's why I was like Jokic, not Jokic, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid. That in that order.
Man, I'm
And I
torn
give
on
a
this
good,
one.
I'm gonna give a good reason of why I'm saying that after.
All right, so I'm definitely starting Giannis.
Yeah,
Everyone that's listened to this show and listened to me talk knows that there was no way I was not starting Giannis.
no brainer.
This is where it gets tough for me. I've got a hate bias that I am trying to not let cloud my judgment here. Oh man. I'll sit I'll sit Jokic with you and I'm gonna cut Embiid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's not that hard, bro.
I
To
don't
me,
want to
it's
give
really
into the
not that
hate,
hard.
because I really, I hate Embiid. So like, I'm trying to
Yeah,
like make sure I look at this like appropriately. I know Jokic has the MVPs, but because to me, Embiid is definitely more dominating to me. Like when
surely
Embiid
is.
puts his like has it all going in the right direction, Embiid is a more dominant player to me. But I think I would still want Jokic before him. But I want to know your reasoning, Devion.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about it. I like Embiid a lot, and I like what he could become. But if I'm looking at like from a GM standpoint and a business standpoint, Embiid not gonna play as many games as these people. And if he's your number one option, he's gonna get hurt. So if you don't got somebody who got as much offense as this dude and he can depend upon him, that's gonna take a toll. That's a big body they can't. But Jokic, on the other hand, we've seen him do it. Murray doesn't. What's dude name? What's dude that point guard? Now, what's the point
Jamal
guard?
Murray.
Jamal Murray. Cannot think his first name. We've seen Jokic play without him. We've seen Jokic play without what's bro
Michael
the
Porter
light skinned
Jr.
dude,
Michael
Michael
Porter
Porter
Jr.
Jr. You seen him where nobody's there, but Jokic can command the floor. He's passing. He's
Yeah, but
scoring.
let's
You
put that in
know,
its proper context, Devion. They got bounced in the first
yeah.
round pretty
But
easily.
but here's the thing about it is like no James Harden, no anybody else. I don't think Embiid is going to shine nearly as much as Jokic will shine. That's what I'm saying. Like when it's like them as the number one option, Embiid is if Embiid was slimmer, I don't and he can control, he didn't get hurt. I don't even think it'd be close. I think he's top five player in the NBA.
Embiid just needs to stop. Like, I
Yeah,
understand that it helps him add
not a
points to
guard.
his point total and everything, but he's got to stop the flopping.
Yeah,
One for my just ability to watch him play basketball, but probably more importantly, so he would stop getting fucking hurt. Like
yeah.
I'm convinced that is playing a role. Like remember all the old vintage Dwayne Wade commercials? I think it was great.
Uh-huh.
Like fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Look what that got Dwayne Wade. And
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade was taking real hits. Like there's
And
no
that's
reason to add fake hits to your body. You're a
and
you're
that's
a
why
three
you
hundred
can't
pound
take
man
him.
falling to the fucking
Hmm.
ground like that. He's got back issues, knee issues, foot issues. I mean, like this year, his injuries in the playoffs were really unfortunate. One criminal, uh, poor
Yeah.
coaching by Doc Rivers that leaving him in a game up 30 with 4 minutes left. But I mean, like the
But
thumb injury, but it's just like he's always doing something. He's always putting himself
tell
in
you,
in position to get hurt. So that's kind of why I ended up going Jokic. I can
yeah,
depend on him a little more.
that's it.
But it is
And that's
really
the only
close because,
reason
like,
why.
to me, when the playoffs come, though, like I just it's hard for me to assess this past year because it's hard to tell like how much those injuries were affecting Embiid. I think that the media gave him a little more of a pass than he probably deserved. But man, when Embiid gets in those like modes where he's just like fuck it and I'm gonna
Nothing you
dominate,
can do.
He's up there with Giannis as most dominant players in the NBA. He
I
just
think
doesn't.
it's I
He's
think
just not there enough.
yeah, I think you're right about that, but it's I'm always go back to the two things. Like when he's healthy, he's way more dominant than Jokic. It's not even close to me. He do a lot of the same things, maybe not as good of a passer, but
Definitely not.
he's not going to play many games. Eventually he's going to get hurt. And I'm thinking like this. I don't have to necessarily change Jokic playing style to actually get a ring or to win, but you're going to have to change aspects about Embiid's game that actually makes him good to
Do you
hope
think
with
that
his
though? Really though?
longevity.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah,
Do you really think that? Because I don't think so. Like I think Jordan can get to the line just as much without doing the James Harden bullshit. You know what
it
I'm saying? Like
I,
I think
he can, but
if he just plays a powerful game, like where he's coming from like a stronger base and not going to the floor necessarily, I think he will still get fouled, and I think there'll be less impactful on his body because he's not falling all the way over. You know what I'm saying?
it'll
Like
help with
I feel like he would dominate. He maybe get
yeah.
a touch less. I think he'd score more points off of his actual field goals.
No, he would score more, but the problem is he won't get as many calls, and he's proven sometimes he's gonna be a crybaby. They gonna treat him more like how Shaq was, and you see Shaq just like, all right, you don't want to foul me? I'm just gonna break the whole rim. I'm gonna come down here and punch you in your face. I'm gonna take this one foul. And I'm gonna come back down and dunk on you. I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna start crying and be like, man, why didn't you give me the foul? Pout, do all this other stuff. And I
Yeah,
think that's the part
that's
that
kind of
it's
another
like,
thing. That's another knock against Embiid that I don't think Jokic
yeah.
has. I've seen Embiid get taken out the game mentally.
Yeah. Jokic gets pissed off, but snaps right back in it. He's just like, okay, all right, I'm tripping. And then a couple,
You know,
plays down the
he just
line, he's
cheap
back.
shot somebody in the back. That's all.
Yeah, but he's back there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Lakers fan. Look, I like Ron Artest. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that bad about no player being dirty. So I'm cool, bro. But I don't know. If Embiid wasn't a flopper like you said and had the actual mentality to reflect, he'll be way more dominant. I think he's top 5 player in the league. I don't think anybody can even argue that, and I don't think he gets hurt as much. And I think he's, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the two flaws. I think is gonna cost him a couple years in his game.
Let me ask you this: if I had
Mhm.
replaced Giannis with AD, how would you rank it?
AD's last. Like this year, from especially if I'm gonna get on somebody about mentality, AD should
Curious.
be the first option because of he's actually can do all the things like Embiid like wanting to do, but he's a little bit more limber. But he's just like mentally, I check players down I like a lot based on mentality of like how dominant you want to be and how much your mentality can reflect in your game. Like I'm gonna knock you down a lot because of that. He would be last. I ain't even gonna lie.
No, I'm
Yeah,
with you. I mean,
yeah,
anybody that's listened to our podcast knows that big mentality guy. If you think that you don't play the way that I envision the way you should play, which is when you really
yeah.
think about it, hilarious that I'm, just some 6 foot, you know, especially not right now, athletic guy at all, telling like, oh, these professional athletes how they should what to play. But I don't know, like the mentality and the way you play is paramount.
Hey
Like,
man, I help you in
how,
every aspect of your life, bro. Like the reason we successful is we ain't gotta be the best athlete in the world, but you, look how dominant and like the mentality we have to be successful in like what we do. It's all because of that. So I'm a like, you know what I'm saying? They might not be the best real estate person and I can sell, you know what I'm saying, do more in real estate than them, but I'm gonna judge you like how I would judge myself off in my career. Like, fuck them. Like that's what and we fans anyways. I got the right to do that. They don't like it. Go play overseas and don't let nobody watch you there. Don't want nobody talk about you there. How about that?
yeah. And while we're talking about playing overseas, free Brittany Griner, bring her home.
Yeah, yeah. That's hold on, that's dang.
Tragic.
That's that ain't funny, but it's shit. That's just wow. Like, like
Bro,
that's
I
the
couldn't imagine like because that was a like a sham trial the whole way. Like it didn't matter
yeah.
how innocent or non-innocent she was, they were gonna punish her.
They want bro back, so they're gonna do
Yeah, they want
anything
their
to do to
arms
get
dealer
that
back.
leverage. I wouldn't give it to him. I'm sorry, Brittany, but that dude dangerous. You can't let him back out. I'm, I'm, I'm sorry you gotta be, what I'm saying, a little scapegoat, but you can't let him get back in the real world. Like he
Maybe
gonna
we'll
die.
see.
So
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we can get her back soon. But Devion, you know how we end this show? We choose love, violence. How you feeling today, Devion? You feeling violent? You in a good mood? What you thinking?
I don't know. I really want to hate on somebody, but I might love on somebody. This go kind of throw it for a curveball, but I'm going to actually love what KD just did. Because as a person who pretty much just negotiates for a living, I can really appreciate you doing that. Because it's like, you know what? I know you're not going to do this, but if you keep me, I'm going to mess up your organization. So you might as well get rid of me and do what I asked you to do and, switch it back over to him. Because I'm like, all right, it's too much hate going towards him and people not trying to help you. It's like, all right, I'm about to help myself get to the destination I want to get to since y'all not gonna help me. As a negotiator, I appreciate that because I'm like, that's low key a real smart move if it works. And if it doesn't work, you're still KD and the Brooklyn Nets just ain't gonna win nothing and they gonna get the blame for it. So only people like Shaq go, which he can say that because he's a winner. He's gonna say, you know what I'm saying? Like, KD, you just taking the way out. I'm like, all right, bro. I feel you, but ain't nobody else gonna be able to say that to him.
You know what's funny? I read a
Blood.
reply on Twitter. You know, KD got in his feelings today, obviously, after all this news broke and started replying to some folks, which is fine. It's very entertaining for me. And he
Yeah.
retweeted somebody that made an analogy in a reply to him or something. And I'm not gonna lie, the analogy kind of made sense, and it was really funny to me. But he was like, he's like, these dudes would. Oh, God, I gotta recall it better. It was like these dudes would rather be broke, but or man, I'm gonna butcher it. This is really unfortunate.
Let me see if I
Really
can pull it up.
unfortunate. He retweeted it. Damn it. Oh man, it was so funny because obviously I disliked the move. Here we go. I disliked the move to Golden State and like that's still just like the as your life and job is being a competitor, and that was just like the like anti-competitive going to the team that just bounced you. But this is what it was like. People be like, woke up today and realized my bank account was on zero. Good thing I really enjoyed the hard road. Unlike KD, who would rather have money like a bum. I was like, yeah, he's kind of right. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. It's like at the end of the day, KD has gotten pretty much everything you could want out of a basketball career, and people are like, "Oh, wouldn't want to be him. Wouldn't want to be a champion and lauded as one of the best players ever." Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
all
that's
right, Kevin.
that's hilarious. I give him
You
that.
know
That
what's
was
you know
hilarious.
what's funny?
Well, that's
It's
funny.
probably one of his burner accounts. He probably made that tweet himself and then
Yeah.
retweeted it. Actually, probably
So
not.
he
'Cause it looks like a verified account, but nonetheless,
no.
KD, I'll give you that one. I'll cheers you on that one. That one.
I like the move, man. It's a great move. It's
At
a
the end of the
great
day,
move.
if he's gonna become a Hedo, I gotta find ways to reconcile my differences with Kevin Durant anyway. So this is the start of that. But so I'm gonna choose love, and I'm gonna show some love. Uh, to one of my cubbies, Jason Hayward. He was informed today that he will not be part of the Cubs team next year. He's probably done for the year with a knee injury. He gave one hell of a speech in the rain delay in 2016 that led to the Cubs winning and winning the World Series. So hat tip to him. He didn't quite live up to the big contract he got offensively. I think he would even admit that, he didn't quite perform up to it, but got a ring. And I will always appreciate him taking less money to leave the Cardinals and go to the Cubs, even though it didn't pan out exactly to how he wanted. But you know what? Still got that World Series. And the Cardinals ain't won one since. So fuck them. And that's how
That's
we're going to sign 3 and a possible off today. Fuck the Cardinals and their little